Okay, just immediately off the bat here this morning, we can see on the 4-hour chart that it is trending upwards, but we've hit a resistance level that it has not broken through yet, and that is this red line right here. We'll go ahead and change that to a dotted line so we can keep track of it easier. And yes, it's that one right there. So I hit that, and it looks like it's formed a red candle, possibly going to be dropping down to whatever, I don't know, could be this orange line here. We'll bring that up there, and the yellow line will move up to the SMA again. All right, so those are 2 points where it could be dropping in the not too distant downward area here. All right, but on the main screen, this is why I tend to bring it up on the the bigger level, because I can analyze and make a prediction on the big screen here with the 4-hour chart, look over here and think, oh, I need to get into a position. And that's not necessarily the best way to go about it. You need to take more time. I need to take more time to analyze stuff. So even though it's really tempting to jump into a long right here, this looks really, really good. Not sure that's the best trade at the moment. So let's go back and analyze as quickly as we can. All right, so it's looking like it might turn down, but the MACD is, all right, it was heading up and now it's kind of stagnating, I would say, heading down a little bit right here. The other thing to look at, I think this is kind of critical, your RSI, this peak right here, is actually lower than this peak over here. So it's losing momentum. That's really interesting. So keep that in mind. All right, 1-hour chart here. MACD is definitely turning down and dropping. So far we want to make sure that we're in shorts. And let's see, we can look at the 30-minute chart, I guess, since it's right here. Right, definitely looks like it's dropping. It kind of hit that red line and is bouncing up. But the orange line here is coinciding with the gold SMA. Very interesting. And on the 15 and 5-minute charts here, there we go. All right, so on the, let's say the 15-minute first, it looks like maybe the drop is slowing down, as we could expect because of that green candle that's maybe heading up. So I would say on the short term, I think getting into that long is not a bad idea. But let's just watch it and see how far up it goes. Would that have really been that great of a trade? If it peters out here, and I'd gotten in here, that would have been 10 points. So that's definitely enough to trade on. But you want to make sure you're trading with the trend as well. And honestly, the trend is going up right here on the shorter term charts. That's interesting. So anyway, not sure what to think this morning. We might, let's go back down again and look. I'm already forgetting. All right, so on the longer term charts, we've hit a resistance level. So if it gets above that, that's pretty serious stuff. It could be dropping at this point and heading down. So if it breaks through, again, that orange line there, or this line here, it's going to continue. I'll go ahead and change that one to a longer dotted line as well. All right, so that's my prediction. I would say if it, these are the boundaries. If it goes beyond those, well, obviously we're going to head down to the yellow line here because that makes sense. And it would probably hold at that point and bounce up and attempt another rise. So do we want to be in shorts or longs? That is the question. And how do we decide that? Well, This is definitely looking like a drop here, the 20-minute chart. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate that one so I have less to pan through here. This is completely contradictory to the shorter term. All right, so if we do a long position, it's going to be very short-lived. And yesterday when I thought that, I mean, okay, so I did trade later in the day, that's true. So it was a lot slower is my point. Today, I'm actually getting a start before the opening bell, in fact, before 9 o'clock. So it'll probably move a little faster. But yesterday, when I said that it was the shorter term charts I was trading, I ended up holding it for a couple hours, I think, before it finally did what I thought it was going to do. And that can mess with your mind. As it turned out, I was able to, just put in my stop order where I was happy and then walk away, which is like the ideal way to trade. That's what I like to do the best, and not be pressured into making really quick decisions right then and there. And we do want to trade the short term. So what does the short term tell us? All right, the very short term looks like we need to get into a short here real soon, like right here. Go ahead and get ready to do that. But the 5 and 15-minute tell us that probably we want to be getting into a long. So let's trade this and not expect a whole lot here. All right, let's see what we can do here. So that's a good spot, and this is just kind of where it's at, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's just above the blue line, and it's a little bit higher than this low here, which is fine. 96 to 88, yeah, that's decent. It's less than 10 points, but it's fine. All right, and then when we see a turn, then I think I'd rather be in a long today, just because of the 15 and 5-minute charts. Well, a long, I shouldn't say today. I should say I want to be in a long for a while anyway, until I see something different. So, all right, I'll come back when we see more information here. Okay, I have a thought. It's taken a very long time to get down there. Doesn't seem to want to drop. But I'm thinking that one of the things I might do is try to get better exit points when I actually see things changing, instead of just assuming that it's only going to get down to that point. So I'll leave my stop in place where it is. In fact, I lowered it down a little bit. And I'm going to lower my limit order down to there. I don't think it's going to ride all the way down there. And what I'll do is, when I see it turning and hesitating, when I see something like this right here, or probably that would be too late, but when I see a loss of downward movement, then I'll get out. Let's see if I can get a better exit point. All right, perhaps lowering the stop and locking in a little bit of profit is not a bad idea. Put it there. All right. I've never really traded with picking my exit points better like that. Don't know if that's a good idea or not. Okay, I decided against it. I don't know. I put in a blue line at the blue SMA here on the 5-minute chart, and I really don't think it's going to go much below that anyway. So I just raised up my limit order to that point, and we'll just see what happens at this point. I did lower my stop, so at least I've locked in just a smidge of profits there. Probably could lock in some more, actually. There we go. All right, so whatever it does at this point, I'm happy. It's a good place to be. Okay, I lowered my stop and just took. not surprised at that. Okay, $28 on the first trade, and I'm aiming for, I think, around 60, 70 bucks, something like that. That would be 2% of my balance. So halfway there. Now, what we're going to do is wait for it to look like it's going to turn, and then we'll get into a long. Okay, that's looking pretty good, actually. I haven't quite seen it on the 15-minute chart yet, but just starting to lose momentum a little bit of the downward with that dark red candle. It's just the beginnings of it. So let's lower this down here like that. And this actually could go quite a ways up there. Alrighty. Yeah, that's good. All right. We may not wait till it hits either of those, but we'll see what happens from here. Okay, I just wanted to say I am looking at it on my phone and really getting a different feel for what is going to be happening today. I'm going to go ahead and lower my limit order down to here and raise up my stop a little bit higher here. Because I think, honestly, the if you look at kind of the general trend, I really think it's going to be dropping today. I really do. And opening bell is very soon. It's like 8 minutes away, and I don't want to get stuck in the wrong side of a trade. So I will just get out as much of this one as I can, and I kind of think it's probably going to be dropping some more today. I'm not sure it's even going to get up this far. It probably will get up to this point, but that's about it, if that. So that's my thought. Tell you what, I'll even be happy to get out right here. I'll just lower my limit order there. That's a pretty decent sized red candle right there. I think I'll just get out of this trade. I'm not real happy with it. All right. Perhaps that was a mistake. I don't know. The reason is I was looking at more of the longer term stuff and just the general pattern, which you can't really see the way I had the chart set up here. But if you look at what's happened right through here, I think we're in for a big drop down to that yellow line. I really do. Especially since it's hit that peak twice. So we'll see. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and get into a short right here and see if I'm right. There. Pretty tight stop right there. All right, well, let's let that sit and see what happens. Okay, and one little more piece of information that I forgot to mention. Another reason that I'm thinking that it might drop is just you can see the yellow line right through here, and you can see that it has tried to get through it right through here and failed, and now it's starting to drop, and it's using that as kind of a resistance level. So it's not able to get through that resistance level there, and so that's another reason I think it probably will drop some more. So anyway, yep, that's what I'm doing. Okay, we have 30 seconds left to opening bell. We have a little bit of a dilemma. We are sitting on a support level. This blue line right through here is definitely a support level. It's moving as we talk as well, right there. All right. And so if it does not break through that, we may be in trouble. But I've got a stop set. So, all right, here we go. See what happens. Up and hasn't gone anywhere yet. Woo! Look at that struggle. All right, good. Broke through it. See how far down it goes now. That looks decent. I mean, it needs to break through it a fair amount, and the second candle needs to continue to go down as well. So it's a good sign, but it's not all we need to see. Cannot go above that area right there. So let's go ahead and lower that stop as well to there. All right, it's trying to go down again. All right, now it hit that area and is finding resistance, probably. So the MACDs are not looking that great on the 5 and 15-minute charts. It looks like we're nearing the bottom of that drop. But, you know, okay, honestly, that is a pretty good deal right there. We're going to lower this down and lock in some profits because we just about made our goal for the day. Off table. All right, tell you what, let's raise up the limit because that would make my goal for the day, actually. I don't need it to go all the way down to here before I'm done. Trade. Ooh, so close. Come on. Great. That would have taken, had it been real trading, for sure. So it went down one tick below it. All right, very good. $68 for the day, so done with that account. And we can go over to the IRA account. I've been making a trade in this account phone, trying to do the same thing that I'm seeing on the chart with EMES because it moves the same way. So got into a short and actually placed an exit order here, and now I'm up to 750. My goal for this account, because it's a much larger account, is, hang on one second. All right, I'd like to get the balance up to 86,300, which would be about $1,600. So that's about 2%. Yesterday, I actually did better than that, so that was good. On my phone, I can't seem to place stop orders though, so go ahead and change that over to an OCO order to do this properly. So I'm going to short, and I need 2, and it needs to be something along these lines. All right. Okay, we have a resistance level that we're thinking about breaking through right through here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. So just to be on the safe side, I might want to actually raise this up to the bottom of those candle bodies right there. Might have been too late. Okay, well, we locked in our profit there and made 500. So we're a third of the way there. Just about right. Okay. So again, I am still thinking that it's going to be dropping for the day and dropping down to the 5,600 level. We have definitely broken through support here. It's thinking about it here. We've got a new low to break. And you can see that that low was over here as well. So we want to make sure that we get into another short if it breaks through that. It's going to go up a little bit first. And so long as it doesn't go much above that yellow line right there, which is 691, that's up here, then we want to get into a short up there. All right, so I'm going to trade with a bracket order in right there. Got two contracts set up. And 2 contracts for some reason is all that it will let me do. I don't understand that because I'm technically able to trade more than that. It just won't let me do it. I don't know why, but 2 is fine. I can deal with it. All right, we didn't get up real far, so we're going to go ahead and place our entry order a bit higher than where it's at right now. Raise up the stop above that point, and we're going to go ahead and expect a big trade here. Where to? Right to there, maybe 62. Yeah, actually, we're going to expect it there, which is, unfortunately, I seem to have lost my lines. Go ahead and put them back in. All right. Still haven't quite got an entry point here yet. All right, it's definitely broken through that. So we want to get in. And that would have taken had that been real money. It just zipped above it just a little bit there. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Okay, unfortunately, it is heading up at the moment, but I'm not too worried because it still has not broken through that gold SMA yet. So the fact that it is still downtrending and has broken through all the supports that we see here, I think are very hopeful that it will continue to drop. So we're just going to hold on to this position, even though I've basically lost all the profits that I made on that first trade. It'll move pretty quick and I'll get them back. Okay, since I am pretty certain that it's going to be dropping, I'm going to go ahead and raise up that stop a little bit just so I don't accidentally get stopped out. Just looking at the orange SMA here on the 5-minute chart and the tops of the candles that are recently peaked here. This is where I want to be. Okay, it has dropped down to where I got in now. I did manage to get into a short at the bottom. I think I just saw these big candles and I thought it was going to drop from there. So I missed out on some stuff. But that's okay. I'm pretty sure of where it's going. So anyway, I think it'll all be fine. Okay, just following it down with my stop because I'm over 1,000, made another 500 here. Got stopped out, not terribly surprised. Still think it's going to drop. Probably want to wait till it goes up a little bit and try to get into another short around this level up here. However, there is the potential that it's going to continue to drop and I'll miss out on that. So I may or may not catch the next entry order. All right, very nice rise right here. I do think it'll probably get up to the orange point right here. Might happen kind of quick. I don't want to get in till I see the reason to do so when it starts to turn. Okay, definitely didn't get up as far as I thought it might. And so, adjust my orders here if I can. So, sometimes when it starts dropping like that, it never really gets back up to this point, but we'll see. We'll see if I jumped in too soon. Okay, I went out to the 4-hour chart here and just put in some more price lines that I think might be supports in the future few days here, the rest of the week perhaps. It's one down here on the blue SMA and one up here on the gold SMA. And the blue one that I have drawn here, I'm going to go ahead and change the color to orange because it actually lines up with the orange SMA that I've got on this one. So that is where my exit order is, and I do think that is the first support that is in play here. So I do think that's a pretty good place to expect it to go. And I raised up my stop just there because I don't want to get stopped out because I'm pretty certain that it's going to be dropping down to that point. So managed to get in at a low point again. So unfortunately, I'm kind of got a habit of that. Okay, and one more little interesting bit that I realized after I kind of made my order and did my thing. On the 1-hour chart here, the orange SMA is right at this point where the dotted line is, and that does seem to be a support area that it bounced from. So it has to break through that before it can get down to here. So probably will, but it did bounce, so got to be cautious. Okay, after that big red candle, it went up and went up to a little bit higher resistance level that it did before, but still not going over that yellow SMA. So I'm still thinking it's going to drop further. And it's had a nice drop in the last minute or so. So as long as it can break through this, I'm thinking we'll be fine. So, all right, we definitely broke through it, and now it's going pretty fast. I have every reason to think that I'm going to get filled here soon. But just to be on the safe side, we'll go ahead and lower our stop and lock in a few little bits of profit there. Stopped out. I don't want to get stopped out. Oh dear. All right, I'm not going to lower my stop. That was not a good idea because I think it's going to drop. I really do. I'll put that back up there again. All right. Whew, that was exciting. Oh, goodness. What should I do here? Hold on or get out. Realizingly close. Threatening to go up. Go out and look at the longer term. Yeah, that's a really good support level there. I still think it's going to drop further. It's just hard to wait. Wait when you're that close. I don't know. It could easily jump up there again. Got it. Nice. All right. Come on, you can do it. Yes, there goes $1,700. Met my goal. Awesome. All right, thanks for joining me.